Hey guys, it's Missy Wolf, and we are here, day 2 CMA Fest 2018 with Paul Bogart. How are ya?
I'm great. How are you?
It's early morning. You're my first interview today.
Man, I feel so privileged.
Well,
I'm so lucky.
I have to tell you, I told Tommy, thank God. Thank God I'm starting the interview with somebody I know and I'm really comfortable with, because if I mess up first thing in the morning, he'll forgive me.
Yeah, you're forgiven.
Well, thank you.
As long as you'll reciprocate.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Now, you have an amazing schedule. You're crazy busy. I was
Yeah.
looking at your schedule. You
Yeah.
tour all the time. Like,
It's good to be busy. I'm thankful to be working,
Yeah.
and so we're gonna play. We're doing the interviews and some signings and so forth, and we're playing here this evening, and then tomorrow we go to Joplin.
Yeah.
We're back for a week, and then we go to Wyoming. We're just this summer's really busy, and I'm thankful. So
it's
yeah.
great. And one of the things that I noticed, one of your dates, you're playing a benefit, save a horse, feed a cowboy. Ride a
Yeah.
horse, feed a cowboy.
That's it.
I,
Ride a horse, feed a
I
cowboy.
confused the song. I did it.
No, I hear you.
I was practicing that one too. But what is that about? What is the whole concept of that show?
So that show's in Hewlett, Wyoming. It's up near Devil's Tower, if you're familiar with that part of the world. Beautiful country, and it's a benefit rodeo. It's actually just a rough stock rodeo, so they're bull riding, bronc riding, and bareback riding, and they raise money for a family that sure needs the help up there. And I think each year, I've played this thing for probably 7 or 8 years now.
Oh, okay.
And each year they give the proceeds from the concert and the rodeo to different families kind of around their community, and it's been a really neat organization to be a part of. And so,
That's super fun.
Yeah.
Now I know you're playing. Are you also gonna ride? Because I know you do the rodeo stuff
Well,
too,
so
right? Or no?
I don't ride bucking animals. I
Okay.
do my best to stay off those critters.
Right.
But
You're the roping,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I
Okay.
keep her name is Shanda Snook. She puts on this rodeo, and I was like, I keep getting after her. If you'll just put the team
Yeah.
roping and the calf roping in, I'll enter.
Right?
I'll enter if you'll just do
you
it.
have to do it. Put the roping in there.
I
You
know. Come
got
on,
to.
Shanda.
Yes, Shanda. We need to see this. No, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. And I wanted to say, you always donate your time for events and good causes, and you did that for a community center that I'm affiliated
Sure.
with. And the people there could not stop talking about you and just your performance, your music, your voice, and your manners, and they all loved you. And we told them that they would love you. But
That was a fun night down in Columbia.
Yeah.
It was just a small room, kind of just the local community
Yeah.
showed up, and Dan Wilson and Cassidy Lynn, they were songwriter guests with me. We just did a round, and I think it was maybe the first time those folks had maybe ever seen a round in
Right.
Columbia, Tennessee, you know.
Yeah.
And
They don't
and they were
get how
at
much-
first they were like, "So where's your fiddle player?" You know, and so where's your drummer? So, but when they kind of figured out I was gonna play one, he was
Yeah.
gonna play one, and she was, and then we just keep doing this thing. I think they kind of relaxed and was like, "Oh, so this is how this is gonna work."
Right.
So, but it was fun. They got a kick out of it, and we had a good time.
That's great. Now, speaking of Writers Round, I love that in this community there are so many people to work with and write with,
Yeah.
and all over the place. And where are you from? Are you?
I grew up in northeastern Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up near my favorite boys, my Swan Brothers, and you just told me that you were writing with them. How has that been? How long have you known them?
So I've known Zach and Colton since we were teenagers, for sure. I think the first gig I ever played, I think they were in the band. Like when the first full band, actual paid job, they were in the band. Colton played drums and Zach played keys.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, and they're both super
Yeah.
talented. I mean, they both play whatever they put their hands on.
That's what Colton tells me about Zach all the time. That it's like it's not fair. He can just pick it up and play
Yeah,
it and never
but-
have a lesson.
And
just
it's
be
true.
Amazing.
But Colton can play too. I
Yeah.
mean, that guy, he put some drumsticks in his hands or whatever. Colton's a playing son of a gun too. Yeah, good guys.
I love it. I'm actually going to be seeing them after I talk to you,
Yeah.
so I want to make sure that I get to talk to them about you next because this is going to be fun. And we'll have to put our interviews out there for you fans at home so that you actually know what we're talking about and you can connect it. But so what else do you have going on besides your summer tour? You got busy family?
So we have a 2-year-old, and his baby brother is now 3 months today.
Oh my gosh.
So that whole story has been incredible. So Jet is our 2-year-old. He's awesome. and extremely mobile and has an opinion. He has an opinion now.
Yes.
And if you don't watch that kid, he will wind up on top of the refrigerator or whatever. I mean, he's just wide open, which is great, super fun.
Maybe he'll ride those bucking animals later.
No, hopefully not. I don't know. But anyway, so his baby brother, here's a story. He was born in the car on the way to the hospital.
I can't even believe that.
So I'll keep it quick. So Tanya, my wife, I guess she just has babies fast. It was a Thursday afternoon, and she started having a few sporadic contractions. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And the three of us, Tanya and Jet and I, we were all out running some errands. Mm-hmm. And she's full term, she's 39 weeks or whatever it is. And she starts having a few sporadic contractions. I was like, all right, call the hospital. We're just going to go ahead and have them check you.
Yeah.
Because Jet came pretty quickly. I mean, he came in a hurry as well. So she called the doctor. The doctor had already left for the afternoon. It was 4:00, and the nurse said, "Well, tell me about your contractions." "Oh, well, they sound pretty sporadic. They don't sound very intense. I don't want you to get stuck in 4:00 Nashville traffic. Yeah. Why don't you just wait till they're 7 minutes apart and pretty intense, and then come in?" Okay. That's professional medical advice.
Yes.
Okay. So we went home and we put Jet to bed. I actually took a shower and then redressed. I was like, we're going to have this baby tonight. So, but the contractions all stopped, and we're sitting there at 9:30 twiddling our thumbs. And I said, let's just go in. And Tanya's like, and do what? Go in and, okay, I'm full term and I'm pregnant, but I'm not having any contractions, and it's 10 p.m. here. I'm here. And they're going to look at me like I'm crazy, So it's like, well, you have a point. So we went to bed at roughly 9:30, and she fell asleep instantly. And then at 11:20, that's when it all started. 11:20.
Never going to forget this.
No, it's great. It was the most intense, exciting, terrifying 20 minutes of my entire life. She woke me up at 11:20, and she says, "Paul, my water broke. We got to go." So she went in and she got herself clothed, and I did too. I threw my clothes on, and the bags, we were super prepared. The bags have been in the trunk for a couple of weeks. We're ready to go to the hospital. We called the neighbor. She ran over and to stay with Jet, our 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And we were gone, and from the time we woke up to the time we were gone was 10 minutes. Okay, so we weren't wasting any time.
Right.
And then 12 minutes later, we had a baby riding in the car with us, not in a car seat. It's like, here's this little slimy, bloody human being, and he's this big, and she's carrying him. And it was the most surreal. I'm 100 miles an hour driving. I never slowed down. Like, I never stopped. People say, well, why didn't you call an ambulance? And I'm like, well, if I'd have called an ambulance, I'm 10 minutes away from the hospital.
Right.
If I'd have called an ambulance, it had taken them 20 minutes to get to us, 15 minutes to move them over to the ambulance, and then 10 more minutes to get to the hospital. And I was like, I felt like what I should have done was just keep going. So, she's having these contractions, and I'm helping her breathe, and I'm driving 100 miles an hour, and I'm praying, and then all of a sudden she goes, well, I knew it was getting real whenever she shimmied her shorts down in the front seat. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is, I'm driving and this is happening, So then the next contraction, she looks at me, she says, Paul, the head's out. And I was like, what do we do? We're just going to keep rolling. I'm going to keep praying, and we're going to get there. And the next contraction, it was like, Tanya describes it like trying to catch a raw egg in your hand, because he was so slimy and watery. And it sounded like she dumped this 5-gallon bucket of water out in the floorboard of the car. Because you talk about a huge mess. It was the most surreal. It was like we hauled a dead deer out of the woods. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just I'm a deer hunter, and it's a mess. And that's what the front seat of our car looked like. But ServPro of Belle Meade, they'll clean them up.
ServPro.
That's right.
You had them.
You guys rock.
You had their back. Thank you, ServPro. Any of you out there who have a similar mess, ServPro.
Yeah,
Call
they
ServPro.
do it. They came.
Tanya, you are a rock star.
Hey,
I never could have done that, like ever.
You
no,
know
no.
what? I'm telling you,
Nope.
you could have.
No.
Because I'm
No, I've been there.
seriously.
I've had kids. There's no way I
Well,
could
she
have done
wasn't
that.
planning on it. She obviously was. She
I
wanted
would
an
have died.
epidural. She
I
wanted
would have died.
You wouldn't have.
I would have died.
You're
Nope.
You as a female are tougher than what you guys get credit for, because any human being that is dealt.
I will admit I'm tough, but I am not quite that tough, and that is why God did not give that to me, because I couldn't handle that.
Maybe so.
There's no way.
Well,
Tanya, you are a rock star,
she
and
is.
I nothing but respect for you.
Yeah.
And Surf Pro.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So pretty crazy.
That is crazy, but what an amazing story for you to pass on to your kids. Like.
Yeah.
And then when they start dating, you
sure.
know, you can talk about that too.
We'll be talking about that
yeah,
for a while, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Things their way. They entered the world their way. Oh my gosh.
So, and the thing, we named him Ace. I was like, we can't name this kid Paul or John or some. Not those are fine names. It's my own name, but he needs a
Yes.
something more than just like Tom or John or something.
Yeah.
And again, nothing wrong with that, Tommy. But so we named him Ace, and I thought it was fitting for this little guy who was born at 100 miles an hour on Interstate 40 going over
incredible.
Old Hickory Boulevard.
Yep. Oh wow.
So
Well,
pretty crazy.
That's great. Now, I am sure fans are going to really, after this interview especially, really want to get to know you even more. So where can they find you?
So you can go to paulbogart.com. You can follow me on all the socials. It's just Paul Bogart Music, and it's Bogart.
Yes. All right. Well, you heard him, so check him out. And until next time, guys, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.